You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days of Our Lives fans. This is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to talk about days right now with Belle Black and how she is going to leave Salem, because storylines right now are moving forward towards Martha Madison's exit. And I wonder if we are right now seeing the nexus of what runs her out of town, and it could be the things that we are seeing next week. Is Shawn Brady's cheating going to be what sends Belle Black Brady out of town? We're going to talk about this, but if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our day's updates. So we've seen for a while Shawn Brady circling the drain, and he shows no signs of slowing. Ever since he shot his dad, Beau Brady, Shawn has been spiraling into addiction with the alcohol and drinking on the job, just making increasingly bad choices. At one point, remember, he had his gun out and he was contemplating suicide. He is just in a mental health and addiction, guilt and shame spiral. It is really sad. Brandon Beemer is doing an excellent job playing it, I think. So, he got suspended for drinking on the job, I think once, twice. And then he landed the commissioner job for just a second, thanks to that shady replacement mayor. And then he got demoted again. And he's just off the deep end. Belle Black has been trying to help him, but every time he just lashes out at her. Remember, he was yelling at her at the house. He was throwing that whiskey bottle and broke it. And he's just in a rage. He stopped therapy with Marlena. He refused to go to an AA meeting with Brady. And then he was just being an a-hole. And then he again said sorry. But then he's right back to it, because I think that just Victor's funeral was just, brought all that guilt back to the forefront, because he still thinks it's his fault, because he thinks that Victor was visiting Beau, but he wasn't, but he has just taken it all on him. Shawn is just taking too much blame onto himself, and he just can't handle it. He's cracking. So Martha Madison's exit as Belle Black comes pretty soon. We know that she and several other ladies are going to be exited by the NBC soap opera. Camilla Banus wrapped filming as Gabby at about the same time that Martha Madison wrapped, so they're going to exit pretty close in terms of storyline. There was a rumor that 7 actresses were impacted by this cast cut, that 5 were fired and 2 were offered recurring. We do know that Martha Madison was one that got the recurring offer. They told her, "Oh, we'll bring you back when we need legal stuff." And she's like, after almost 20 years, no, thank you. And, kudos to her for doing that. There was 7 women affected, 1 male reportedly, but no word yet who that one male is. So the current storylines are definitely setting the stage for Belle to leave. But it begs the question, is Shawn Brady going to go with Belle if Brandon Beemer was the one guy that was affected in this cast cutback? If he wasn't the one and he's not leaving, then that means Belle and Shawn's marriage is done, right? So that's kind of hard to think about. And last week we saw Shawn, getting drunk when he knew he shouldn't be doing that. And then he cheated. We saw Shawn over at the pub getting cozy with just dumped Talia Hunter, Jada's sister. Talia is all down in the dumps because Chanel broke it off with her. And Shawn knows exactly who Talia is and all the sketchy things she's done, because, he's a cop and he knows about her criminal charges. And even worse for both Shawn, because Belle is Shawn's wife and then Belle is Talia's lawyer. Talia would be sitting in prison right now if not for Belle. So they're both doing Belle so dirty with what goes on, and it picks up next week, I think on Tuesday. So last week, Shawn sees Talia drinking and he just invites himself randomly to sit down and they get boozy. She's all sad about Chanel going back to Johnny, and they got so drunk that they got booted out of the pub, and then they go upstairs to her room and she's like, oh, it's okay. My sister's working and pulling an all-nighter. And then they kissed. And, next week, Shawn Brady is going to wake up in her bed, hungover, and is going to remember what they did. I'm not sure who is in the room, but he wakes up and he sees someone. Maybe it's Belle, maybe it's Talia, I don't know. And then there's another spoiler for next week where Jada sees Talia acting all sketchy and grills her. I wonder if Talia is going to come clean about sleeping with him. I mean, So on the bottom line is Shawn thinks that he's justified with what he did, even if Belle's there, even if Belle's angry. And to be fair, Belle has cheated on him with just a random guy. And then with Philip Kiriakis back when they were doing that, Days of Our Lives, was it like high school reunion, class reunion, whatever, that blast from the past? Was that what it was called? It was something like that. Anyway, the whole high school reunion show, she slept with Philip on that. And then when she and Shawn were technically on a break, but they hadn't split up and they weren't planning on divorcing that I can remember, she was banging EJ. So as far as Shawn sees, she's a repeat cheater, so maybe he thinks that he gets a hall pass. I don't know. And just for the record, if you're worried that Talia Hunter is somehow going to wind up winning Shawn by default, I don't think that's going to happen, because Aketra Sevillian is confirmed to be leaving based on Instagram comments by Ari Zucker, who plays Nicole. She commented how, I can't believe you're not on our show anymore. So she seemed to confirm that. So Belle exits this fall. We're not sure when Talia exits. I just don't think that Shawn, even if he was the one affected by the cast cutbacks, I don't see him leaving with Talia versus leaving with Belle. If he's going to leave, he would leave with Belle, I think. So the big question is Shawn going to leave with Belle, or is she going to leave alone? Official Days of Our Lives spoilers say next week, I think it's Tuesday, Belle panics when she can't find Shawn, and then she's going to go looking for him. And spoilers tease that it could be Belle there when she wakes up. Maybe the bartender tells her because she's telling Eric Brady that she doesn't know where Shawn is and she's really worried. And so, maybe Eric tells her, oh yeah, he was here drinking with Talia, and maybe they go up and the door is unlocked, and we'll see. We know that Belle is leaving for sure, but we don't know if Shawn is also going. We just know that one male was fired. So we also have a pretty good idea of when Martha Madison's last air date is as Belle Black. Martha Madison said she finished filming right at the end of April and said she thinks that mid-November is when her exit episode is going to air. Interesting is that Camilla Banus shot her last Gabby episode on the last day of April, I believe. So they're both going to be leaving at about the same time. Kind of interesting. I doubt they're going to be leaving together unless for some reason, I don't know, they blow up something that they're both in. Some websites that I do not consider reliable at all are saying that Belle's going to be killed off and it's going to, that is made up. That is complete speculation. Do not jump on that rumor bandwagon. There are, first of all, 0 official spoilers from the network saying that anybody's going to die. And second, because Days wanted her on recurring, I don't think they had scripted to kill the character off, because they might want to bring her back. They might want to recast her at some point. So, all right, I've got one last thing to say about Shawn's infidelity and how this might affect her exit. But if you haven't already, please reach down, click subscribe so you don't miss any of our Days of Our Lives spoilers. And definitely click a like if you're enjoying this conversation. It's hard to enjoy thinking about an actress being fired, or, well, technically she was cut back and then she quit. But still, to me, that's tantamount to them firing her by making it impossible for her to stay. So It's not something that you want to like the storyline of, but if you enjoyed my coverage of it, please give me that thumbs up. I appreciate that. All right. So is Shawn Brady's infidelity the last straw? The big question is if Shawn's spiral of shame and now his cheating is what puts Belle on the path to leave Salem. Will she leave and go be with Claire Brady in South Africa? I mean, that seems a likely solution if they want to recast her, or if they're hoping that Martha might change her mind and come back at some point. They could easily bring her back. Of course, you can kill people in Salem and still bring them back. You know, there's something in the water over there. Everybody's resurrected. That's fine. But I just don't feel like they're going to kill her. So if Shawn leaves with her, I could see them going to be with Beau where he's convalescing, hoping that he'll come out of this coma. If she leaves separate from Shawn, I could totally see her going to South Africa to spend time with Claire Brady. That's what I think. Hey guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Shawn's infidelity just pushes things too far with her and that's why she's leaving? Drop your comments below. I read them all. I appreciate you guys interacting with us. Thank you so much for tuning in. Come back soon for more on Days of Our Lives. This has been Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.